Closing is always easy when you're in Cardone U. We role play with Grant Cardone's team. They know just what to do. They're always there to support us. We couldn't ask for more. On our way in the right direction, we found what we're looking for. In FLC, closing is better with appointment setters. You'd better believe we're not a team but a family. We work together in harmony. We are devoted, on that you can quote me, in FLC.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the FLC Hangout, where your freedom lifestyle begins. Today I am so excited for the guests we have. We have Andy and Ronan Edwards in the house. I'm so excited you guys are here. Thank you so much. And we're going to be picking their brains a little bit. These guys know so much about so much. So yeah, before we get started, make sure you follow us on Instagram. They're on the screens now somewhere. And without further ado, Misty, over to you.
Hey guys, I'm super excited to have you guys on here. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to be here. We're so excited to learn from you guys because we know you guys are like the gurus, or as you know, we've been told, the daddy of marketing, which is the marketing daddy. So I would like, because I know who you are. Josie knows who you are. Can you guys just give a little bit of a rundown of what you guys do and who you are for us?
You want to go first? Let them know what you do.
Yeah, of course, can do. So basically, my name is Ronan. This is my dad, Andrew. We like Josie said, we do a lot of marketing and have extensive knowledge in different areas. My sort of areas are like more in social media marketing and social media advertisements and e-commerce and stuff like that. Whereas this guru over here, just know he's great at everything. To be fair, he's class. You want to explain?
Yeah.
What your master is?
Yeah, I paid him to say that. So I've been in online marketing at the highest level since 2006. I was one of the top 50 affiliates in the world, so affiliate marketing, in a very competitive niche. Won awards for that, built and successfully sold 9 different websites. Was able to buy a forever home and stuff like that. You can just Google me, Andrew Edwards, Mad About Media. You can see the different things I used to do. I used to talk on stage, I used to go around the world and stuff. But yeah, predominantly my background is SEO, so search engine optimization, getting websites to the top of Google. Because I was doing it in a very competitive niche, working with £1 million budgets under NDA, so non-disclosure agreements. When I come to do it for small businesses and local businesses, it was extremely easy because rather than doing it worldwide with different countries, I was doing it for small SME companies or Joe Blogs plumbing and things like that, with smaller budgets. But everything I learned over the last 17 years now has just helped me to get better and better. I'm constantly learning and constantly growing, and it gives me the chance to pay it forward and to give it back and teach people what I've learned and learn from my mistakes. And this is what I love about what you guys do, about what Jabari and Seb does, and the whole FLC movement of what it is having that freedom lifestyle, is because you learn these type of skills that we've all learned, and you have got every opportunity to have that freedom lifestyle, to work that laptop lifestyle. And that's what we try to help everybody do, whether that's somebody who works for themselves, whether that's a big company, a blue chip company, whatever. It's the same marketing things. So yeah, I've learned everything from SEO. I'm a Facebook preferred marketing partner, Shopify partner, e-commerce. There's not a lot that I can't do when it comes to anything online marketing related. So that's me.
Damn. Sorry, Misty. I know you have a question, but before we start, anyone watching, grab a piece of paper and a pen, because you guys are going to want to take notes on what these guys are saying. So Misty, go ahead.
Absolutely. You guys want to really, and add your questions and your comments down below, because we want to know, we want to be able to give you guys the information you're looking for. We want to know what you want to know, So, and yeah, we were talking to Seb about you, Andy, and he's like, he literally knows everything. He literally knows everything. He even knows how to turn on an oven, a stove. It's like, so I'm like, fantastic. He
Yeah,
can teach
shout
us how
out
to
to Seb.
cook. No. Yeah. So, okay, so we wanted to know, what are some effective marketing ways to drive traffic to your business?
Ooh, good question. It all depends on your budget and when you're starting out, because say that there's different levels of growth in it. Obviously, Ronan can see it from a different angle with the social media and video editing. Obviously, you got word of mouth, you got friends, family, people who follow you on Facebook and stuff like that. You exhaust that angle very, very quickly. You'll realize when you try and get people to buy stuff from you and stuff like that. And then obviously to take that one step further, I'd be looking into Facebook ads, TikTok ads, Instagram ads, which is more Ronan's bag, where he picks it up. But if you've got a product, you know what you're doing. You've got a brand, whether that's a website, whether that's yourself as a consultant, as a teacher, as a yoga teacher, whatever it is, it's, I'd say, model what other people are doing, model competitors, model success. It's like, why reinvent the wheel when there's other people doing what you've already done, right? There's a reason why they're making so much money. What are they doing that you're not doing? And then you can use that to kind of, I'd say, I'm not saying like piggyback or like leapfrog over your competition, or whatever analogy you want to use where you guys are from, is rather than just struggling and trying to reinvent the wheel, look at what's already working. How can you take that and incorporate that into what you're doing? And if money's a bit tight and you've not got a marketing budget, leverage other people's money, like you say, leverage OTM and use that to invest to like a marketing loan or a company loan or something. If not, obviously friends and family. But if that's not an option, then you've got the word of mouth. You start small, and as you get some sales in, or as you get some money coming in, you just take a percentage of that and then just reinvest it and grow that way. Is there anything you want to add from a social media, video editing, YouTube point of view, or?
Yeah, to be fair, there's quite a lot of free ways nowadays to do it with the likes of TikTok and Instagram Reels, and maybe I'll go a bit more in depth into it a bit later on with the exact methods on how you can do that. But it's changed the game with social media. The dynamics have completely changed, haven't they? The social media advertising is, once you learn it, it's actually really simple to understand and implement. Compared to like old school methods where you'd have to go and do like some sort of TV ads or a newspaper ad, those steps to actually get that set up would be a lot harder. But yeah, I think, yeah, there's so many different ways that you can do it nowadays. And I think a free way, especially because you were talking about budget before, a free way is just to try and grab as much attention as possible on social media. That's, I think, probably the smartest marketing you can do at this point. It's really cost effective because there's no upfront cost really.
Yeah, definitely. And that actually kind of leads me quite nicely onto my next question I had for you, Ronan, is I know you do a lot on social media and marketing on social media. So how would you kind of stay aware of like certain trends going on or certain things people can do to get out there and get consistent and reach the audience they want to reach? Because I know a lot of the times first starting out, it can be really daunting for people. Like, oh, I have to go here and here and here, and I have to post this much, and I have to do this. So what's kind of like a good strategy or tip you would give someone starting out?
Yeah, especially for someone starting out, it can be really challenging and daunting because, you know, all the what ifs and fears come into place where you start thinking like, oh my God, what if someone from my town sees this? Or what if, you know, all those things are gonna happen. Like, so you've got to really, first, if you're at a beginner and you've never really been on social media before, and it might make you uncomfortable, to be honest, because I know for a lot of people, especially for me in the beginning, I mean, it's different for me because I was a kid growing up with it, whereas like other people, if they've not been on it or they've not tried it in any sort of way, it can be really daunting. But you'll find that you've got to make some sacrifices because this social media and the way you can actually look at trends and start to actually just copy what other people, not copy what other people are doing, but take inspiration from what other people are doing.
Model is the professional term.
That's the professional term. It is, if you were copying it, then you'd be doing exactly what someone else is doing.
Model
So
it.
don't do that. Never
Yeah.
do that. But the best advice that I can give is, a lot of people do say nowadays, oh, social media is bad for you and everything else. But if you're using social media for nothing, if you're using it just for entertainment purposes, then it is bad for you. You know what I mean? There's no productivity going, like just spending hours just looking through social media. But if you're trying to get inspiration and trying to see how you can do some content that will fit you, just look at the niche that you're in on any social media platform, and see in the past month or a couple of months what's really trending at the moment. I think TikTok's probably. I mean, I keep coming back to TikTok but the way I think about TikTok is it's an easier way of getting the most attention and most people onto it, because if you can see what's working in your niche, like the different trends, that is basically the best way to do something decent with social media marketing, is just finding what other people are doing and thinking of better ways to do it. I'll give an example just so people might be able to understand a tiny bit more. One video that I did was did decent on TikTok. It got a couple 100,000 views. Is I was seeing that a lot of people at the moment were watching videos about if dropshipping was working or not. So it was a specific video about trying dropshipping for one day with just a small budget of $8. The reason behind my whole thinking of that video, just so you can try to understand a tiny bit, is I was thinking this will target the general audience of people who are looking to get into dropshipping, and the low budget side of it as well would make people go, oh, well, $80 might be a low budget to some people, it might be a high budget to others, but it is an affordable amount that people can do, to an extent, obviously, if you're in Western countries and stuff. But I thought that video was a great idea to do, and it got a couple 100,000 views. And I started seeing a week after that, all the top dropshipping influencers, get my words out properly, started making those type of videos. Like, I tried dropshipping with the budget of this, and it was a full breakdown, and that gave me better ideas on how to make my content better, and it just started snowballing from that. And once you get into that stage where you've found a viral video, it'll give you the confidence to start doing more, because you're like, oh, well, people have watched this, people have enjoyed it. And what I think that's just the best part to go for, is literally just finding a way to make a video viral on this short type of content, like Instagram Reels, TikTok, everything else like that. And once you get that, it'll boost your confidence. And just always remember that emotion, because you could have times where you might not have a well-performing video, but always remember that time, because there are people interested in what you have to say, even if you don't believe it. There always is, no matter what you do.
So powerful. So you heard it here first, guys. Scrolling on TikTok for hours can be used for good.
Yeah, it can.
Yes, I can. So you were talking about modeling, right? Finding people that are doing what in your niche that you can model. So what are some examples of successful modeling campaigns that you can that can be modeled?
Is this who's on it? Is this? I'll chip in and then we can get Ronan to do it. So like again, Ronan nailed down on this. It's your niche. So those of you, obviously, when you come through FLC or whatever part you come through, sorry, I switch it. So you look at your branding pillars and you go, okay, what is it I want to do? I know I don't like this job. I don't like this 9 to 5. I don't like working in McDonald's or flipping patties or something like that. I want to do something else. I just don't know what I want to do. Everybody gets to that point. For me, I fell into online marketing by being a semi-professional poker player. That's a crazy story of mine. So I can card count. I can do lots of crazy things with numbers, and I'm a bit of probably got ADHD and a bit of like analytical kind of thing like that. Me and Seb always joke around like that. But for me, it was like, okay, I know I'm good at what I do, right? But who's better at what I do? So who can I get mentorship from? Or who can I surround myself with in order to get level up to that next? Because you get complacent, you get good at what you do, and you go, I'm okay, I'm comfortable, I'm making X amount of money. And then you'll stay like that for a bit, and you go, you'll get to a stage where you fall out of love with it and you go, is this it? How do I get to the next stage? How do I level up? And then for me, I was looking at other people, other agencies. So it wasn't even anything like motivational speakers or like Grant Cardone or any type of things like that, or like Rudy Mayer or like people who Chiv's worked with in the past. It wasn't any of them. It was more me as a person, because in my head, laws of attraction, I was better than them anyway. It wasn't an arrogance thing. It's just, I am better than them. I know this. But then I was constantly learning, going, in fact, no, I don't. I don't know this. I don't know that. So once you find your niche and you go, you know what, I'm going to give dropshipping a try. I'm going to give consultancy a try. I'm going to give laws of attraction coaching a try. Is look at the people who you've looked up to, who you've put on a pedestal, who you've modeled. What are the YouTube videos? What are the meditations you've been listening to? And then go, okay, if they can do it, how do I, like Ron said, how do I make it better? So to me, I would always model, like not copy, model. I'd model other people's things. I'd say, okay, what are these guys doing? What's their website like? What themes their website on? What products are they selling? Can I get them products cheaper from somewhere else? How much are they offering for the website? Could I outsource that website to India on people per hour and mark it up and make some money? Like dropship services. There's loads of different angles, but until you know what you want to do, it becomes too much. There's that overwhelm. There's the like, oh my God, I can't cope. This is too much. You don't know what to do. And you kind of like reset yourself. If you just have a minute, or a hot minute, as our friend Seb says, have a hot minute, go back and look and go, okay, let's take it back. What's my branding pillars? What am I good at? What am I bad at? What do I want to do? And then take 3 or 4 people who are in that niche and then model what they're doing. And then that way, then, like you say, it keeps going back. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. The instruction manual is already there. So if you model them people, you'll get to a certain stage. And then once you're comfortable and you've got some money and you've got that time, that's when you'll start doing a bit more soul searching and going, okay, how can I better myself? And it might be that you go and get a mentor. It might be that you go to a coach, you might take on another online program. I'm a sucker for it. Even I'm learning online programs. I've probably got about 5 or 6 that I haven't even started yet. But they're there, ready when I have the time or make the time to do it.
A show of knowledge.
Yeah, self-knowledge, self-help.
Show of knowledge. So I want to bring up this point before you ask your question, Josie. I really want people to understand when we're talking about modeling somebody else, like Andy said, you don't want to take and just copy and paste what they do. You want to take what they're doing, use it as a template, change it to fit you, your business, your niche, and then put it out there. So you're basically taking what somebody else does, you're learning from them. Okay, this works for them, this doesn't work. And then how can I make this my own and change it so it fits me and my business? And then I can put that out there. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about modeling somebody else or modeling something as far as business goes. So I just wanted to put that out there because sometimes, I mean, I don't think I'm stupid, but sometimes there's certain words that people use in business that I don't fully understand in the aspect as far as business goes. So that's why I just wanted to put that out there for people. So go for it.
Definitely. And by the way, it's also about taking the action as well. These highly successful people are taking like massive amounts of action every day. So model their action as well. Ronan, is it similar for social media, or is there any differences?
Yeah, you know what? It's really similar in a way, because I think for every type of business, and this is like social media creation included in it, every single business has some method of competitor research. If you look at them, I mean, this is just a sad example, but just to sort of prove that point, is the AI thing at the moment. Every single big tech company is now working on AI because they're all going, oh, they've got a great one. So they're all trying to compete with each other now. And it literally is just competitive research. And the point that I'd like to add, like what my dad said then, was absolutely amazing and correct every single way. But one thing that a lot of people forget is that they can fall into something that they don't have a lot of passion or love for, and when they don't see results straight away, they can just be like, well, there's no point in doing it. I'm guilty of it myself. If it's something that I'm not completely passionate about, you start to think, oh, is it worth doing it? All the doubts start creeping up in your mind. So the best advice I could give is what content, so especially if you're not sure on what type of business you want to do or what you really want to focus on, what type of content do you really enjoy yourself? What type of, it couldn't even just be content, but what type of things you really like to get involved in? It could be a sport, it could be just a certain activity, it could be neuro-linguistic programming, there's so many different things that you could do. All you got to realize is that, like, focus on what and it's hard to find sometimes. You just got to know yourself and figure out what you really enjoy and what you really want to do. And that sort of can help you go on to go, all right, well, I can do this for the rest of my life. And there's not as much doubt coming in, if that makes sense, especially when you enjoy something. So I would definitely model the people that you really enjoy, because even if they're not massive, because you'd go further in what you actually enjoy than, than something that you don't enjoy. And the whole modeling process is literally the exact same. So if you were going to do some competitor research on a website that you're making, like what we do sometimes, we'd look at the top competitors and what they do well, what they don't do well, and how we can improve it. The same applies to the content on social media that people create. And that has probably taught me more about social media than watching any video on, how to make viral content or how to go trending. Just having that ability to go, oh, okay, so that's trending at the moment. Try and think of, better ideas and how we can spin it and make it our own way. And usually those videos are a lot more highly engaged than the ones that I could come up with. So I will create ideas of my own and just, oh, that might be a good idea. I'll put it out. And sometimes it just it doesn't really connect with people. Whereas if I find myself looking and seeing what a lot of people are actually engaging with in that niche, I find that I get a lot better results than trying to come up with my own ideas sometimes.
Yeah, definitely makes perfect sense. Yeah, thank you both so much. And I wanted to ask as well, how important is kind of engagement and customer loyalty in a way to, like, both business and marketing and social media on, like, you're getting out to people and people are engaging. How do you kind of keep them and kind of repeat and get them to know who you are, grab their attention, really? Then this is a kind of like a question for both of you as well.
You answer it first.
Okay. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of ways that people can do it. The first way is grabbing people's attention in the first place. And literally social media, TikTok, and all these different brands that you can start to use. It is all an attention game. All the biggest influencers that you see, they've got a way of just capturing people's attention. That's why, controversial people like Andrew Tate were massive last year, because of the fact that they could grab people's attention. It was a controversial way and, upset a lot of people, but nonetheless, they grab people's attention. And that's one that is, you literally said, my only point was just to grab people's attention, to be honest. Obviously, if you want to do it in a more, not harmful way, not, harassing people or anything like that, as long as you giving out positive content out there, I think it's just literally just being energetic and just doing something odd. That's what works at the moment. That there's just doing something that's out of the ordinary will grab people's attention. I'm trying to think of like specific examples. There was one, so we've seen, and we do it ourselves, where people create TikTok content and around one drop shipping product and create a whole drop shipping store around that. And they'll try and create viral content around the product. One example that I've seen, it was a leaf that could go on the back of your number plate. It was magnetic to sort of basically make sure that you don't get caught speeding. Highly illegal. But nonetheless, the marketing strategy that they use is great. And I don't know why, if you said this to someone 20 years ago and you said this is a marketing strategy that's made people a couple thousand every single week. Essentially what they did, they got someone's foot with a croc on. At the start of the video was the guy behind the camera rubbing the guy's croc. That sounds really bad, but he basically just went rub the guy's foot. He put his foot down and then went on to the product.
Oh my God.
That was the hook, and it was a video.
For those in the know, that's called a pattern interrupt.
Mm,
So
I love it.
just to chip in and be a bit more on the old, I'll go on the spiritual route and the marketing route, is people buy from people they know, they like, and they trust, right? But if they don't know you and they've not got the chance to like you, they don't trust you, so they're not going to buy from you, right? So then if you've not built a brand, and believe it or not, I'm quite introverted. I got taught how to speak on stage and stuff like that, and it's confidence that I was a shy kid at school, but it's the confidence that grows. And I feel very, very confident to speak openly about what I know. To me, I'm not rehearsed. It's one take, it's done. Ronan said something, my dad's spot on. I'm thinking, I can't even remember what I just said. I was in the flow, but it's that type of thing, right? But it's getting out there. You can do this. And I always say to Ronan, it's like the Karate Kid. It's wax on, wax off. It's got to be repetitive to the point where you do it without thinking. And you're like, Ronan, wax the floor. Ronan, put the social ad on. And you're like, all right. And you don't even know you're doing it, but you do it without doing it. And it gets to the point where it's a bit monotonous. But then once it's monotonous, you know it's right. But if you're not, I've had jobs that I hate. And I'll be honest, it took me 10 years of dead-end job to find something I was good at when I was 25 and 43 next month. And even then, it took me 4 or 5 years to have the confidence to leave that 9 to 5 to then become my own boss, which I did do in January 2011, and I've been doing it ever since. Right? Yeah, but it took it took 5 years, right? And that's a story for another day. But it's finding something that you're good at. But if you love what you do, it doesn't seem like a job. And then what you'll find from a more like I say, a spiritual point is time will just go like that. You'll come in at 8 o'clock in the morning. I work 60-hour weeks, but it does not feel like work. It does not feel like work. And I'll come home, I'll have my tea, and then I'll end up working again because I just can't shut off. I'm wired like that. You've either got it or you're not, but you have that drive. But that's allowed me to go from being bankrupt to being abundant, to paying all this debt off, to now being able to go into holiday, to be able to do different stuff like that. That was 3 years ago, literally May the 4th, March 4th, 2020 was when I went to Manifesting Miracles. Right. Has it been hard? Yeah. Have I wanted to give up? Yeah. Have I cried and thought I couldn't see an end of it? Yeah. But then I've come out of it the other side and I'm stronger for it. And I get to do what I love now. There's a reason why all this to me is easy. Right. So everybody else, like say the daddy of marketing, all joking aside, is I learned off Seb, but Seb could teach me stuff. Like Jabari, we've all learned off Jabari. Jabari may have learned off me. We're all experts in what we know. And it's once you find something that you're passionate about, you've just got to throw caution to the wind and you've got to double down on it. And then you've just got to go with it and then redo it. Do these, like, I'm doing a 90-day plan now for mind, body and stuff. And I mean, the money in abundance, that's on lock. Mind, I'm always switched off. I can't shut off. So for me now, I need to try and quiet my mind. I need to try and shut off. I need to try and realize that I no longer need to be in fight or flight. I no longer need to be hustling and grinding. But why not just double down for another couple of months to be set for life? That's my mentality at the moment. And not many people have that. But once you find something that you love, like look at this, for example, I had a client, we're in a communal office space here. There's 35 other offices. I had a client who does mortgage brokers, so selling income protection, mortgage brokers, insurance, life policies, wills and stuff like that. They're brokers. This guy chose to build the website himself, right, last year, and said that he's on the verge of closing his business down. I looked at it and realized he'd never made his website live. He'd made it live, but to Google and everybody else, they couldn't see the website because he hadn't indexed it. That literally a case of clicking a button and a 2-second job, but you only know what you know. So he's like, oh my God, what did you do? And I was like, I literally just pressed the button. But that's the difference of him now getting 5 or 10 clients a day, of leads a day, and through not knowing. So if you model success and you don't try and go off yourself, you're not going to find them issues, and don't be frightened to ask. Like Seb, I always remember Seb saying to me, and Shabari says this all the time as well, there's no such thing as a stupid question. And like and like we say, touching on what Misty said, is like some of this business terminology I don't get. You don't have to get it because it doesn't resonate with you. If it does, you'll pick what you want to learn, and the rest of it you go, oh, what's that again? What's that anagram? Blah, 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 blah. All right, yeah, okay. And then you'll find your own little nuances and your own little ways of remembering things, and then you'll just take it from there.
Yeah. Oh, I love everything you guys are saying so much. And sorry, Missy, I know you have another question, but it kind of, we're training on something right now as in FLC, and Grant Cardone said that skill set doesn't overweigh frequency. And basically what he means by that is anything you do, if you do it enough, you're going to become good at it. If someone who is kind of less skilled at something does something way more than someone who is more skilled at it, they're going to become better sooner or later. And it's the same with so we do sales. It's at first it was so hard, and I had to think about every step of the way. And now, like in the cold calls, it's bobbing and weaving, and I'm like having fun with it, and it's relaxed. And yeah, so it's so true what you guys are saying.
See, just to go on that before we go to the next question, I always struggled with the cold calls. So I always remember Chibari's like, just do it. And I was like, I know, but like, what if they say no? And she's like, just do it. You don't know. Because I'm used to speaking to people face to face. To me, it was a lot easier for people to put the phone down on me, or a lot easier. So God bless Zoom and all lockdown and stuff, because that just changed the way you could sell. And now I'm very much a people person. And that comes back to me days of playing poker and picking up on people's tells and psychology and stuff like that. So the sales side, I get that, but there's a lot of things that we don't know. There's a lot of things that we would benefit from FLC, that we would benefit from Grant Cardone and stuff. So if it's meant to be, it's something that I will pick back up at a later date. You know what I mean? It's like I've done 2-3 seasons of FLC, but I find that even though I've got that knowledge and it's up here somewhere stored for a rainy day, it's another tool on my tool belt. I'm finding at the moment, I'm learning everything to do with SEO at a level that I never, ever done it before. Like I just spitball some numbers, like when I talk about modeling stuff. I work as a consultant for a company. I look after 20 websites for them worldwide, as well as what I do with the agency. I have a £30,000 per month budget for them. Now that sounds a lot, but it's 20 websites across 8 different countries. Just last month alone, I made them £922,000 in a month of 30 grand.
Damn.
So it's like, and I can do that like every single month, £750,000 for that company based on the budget that they've got. But it's took 12 months of testing and stuff like that. So don't believe in these get rich quick schemes and these you have got to do the skills, but there's a reason why I can do it quicker than everybody else, is because I've learned it. Consistency is key. For 15 years of 50-60 hours a week to be able to do it in 15 minutes. So yeah, don't give up on it. Just keep doing what you're doing. Forever learning. This is what we're here to do. It's a game of life. We're here to learn. And then so it's like, okay, what is it I want to learn? What is it don't? And just go back to the Karate Kid Cobra Kai analogy. And obviously Grant Cardone's framed it a bit different than wax on, wax off, but it's the same principle. If you do it and you keep doing it, the repetition, like you just said then with the calls, you'll find that. I always remember Master saying something like fear is false information appearing real, or false evidence appearing real. And that like really stuck with me to this day, where I'm like, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. It's like, why am I worried? Why am I worried about the what ifs and stressing? Just do it, and then just say yes and figure it out later. And you're like, oh my God, oh yeah. And then it's that kind of giddy excitement of it. And then you kind of the adrenaline after the fact that you're like, oh my God, that was amazing. Even if it was good or bad, then you just take, okay, what was good from it? What was bad from it? Learn it and repeat. And eventually you become an expert in what you know.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you guys, you guys have mentioned a lot of times that you really want to be passionate about what you're doing and you want to love it. And when you do that and you find that thing that you're passionate about, it doesn't feel like work. So then you feel like you're, like Andy, you said, you're always switched on and you're always thinking about work. And because you love it so much, you just don't feel like it's work, so you enjoy it. And then how you're saying, you know how we all get in that point where you had mentioned, how can you learn something from somebody else if you've already been doing this for so long? And then you hear things like, just do it anyway and figure it out later. Or, and there was the other one I was going to mention and I forgot it, but but the thing is that, if once you start doing something and you're always learning and things are always changing, so to keep doing that and just do it anyway and put yourself out there. I just wanted to bring those up. That's kind of empowering. I did have something else to say, but like I said, it's gone, so we'll let it go. It might come back later. But my question is basically, how can somebody find a strong brand and brand identity, and how do they have to change the brand identity, or how can that transition for any industry, any marketing industry?
So it depends like what that niche is. So if you guys and girls watching or whatever, if you didn't know me, you wouldn't know that I own a company called Mad About Media. You'd know Andrew Edwards is what Seb affectionately says, the daddy of marketing, right? But like, people buy from people they know, they like, and they trust. People buy into me. So first impressions, they go Mad About Media, never heard of them. Okay. I'll be 100% transparent with you guys. Mad About Media came about because I owned a website in 2006 called Mad About Bingo. And I was selling affiliate commission and getting people to sign up to online bingo sites through poker, right? And then when I sold these websites in 2016, 17, and 18, because I'm that good at what I do, they literally give me a 3-year non-compete, and I could not do anything in that industry for 3 years because I could literally just build a website, rank it to the top of Google inside of 6-12 months, right? But then I ended up, I'm like, oh, right, well, what do we do now? I've got this big pot of money. I've got this nice forever house. Completed the game. Oh, shit. Like, and it literally was that type of thing where I was like, I've hit all my goals. I don't know what to do. I know I'm going to have time out. I'm going to travel the world, going to go on holiday. Like, that didn't do it because I can't sit still. I need to be doing something. So then I was like, I've got all this knowledge. What do we do? So I literally just ended up with the name Mad About Media, and it became an agency in 2017 helping SMEs. So I had all these skills. I thought I can pay it forward and pay the knowledge forward. So that's how mine ended up. But there's nothing to stop me doing andrewedwards.com or like Ronan's, like, to his mates is affectionately called Dwardy. So Edwards Dwardy. I don't know how, like, but it could be dwardy.com or something like that, or whatever. It all depends on, like, I don't know, it'll just click. You'll have these type of names and you go, I'm not married to Mad About Media in any way, shape or form. It's like, that will become something else. I know that what I'm doing now, I'm going a bit woo-woo here for the woo-woo people, is not what I'm meant to be doing, right? I just know that this is a catalyst and a benchmark, and eventually I will get there. So rather than trying to control it, I just surrender and go, okay, you know what? I will along for the ride. Let's do what I'm doing. And since I've stopped trying to control everything, and it takes time, I found that doors just open, opportunities just come to me. I'm praying for one client to get back to me because we need that 3-month deal to pay the rent on the office. They don't come back to me and someone else comes along and it's double the price. I'm like, what? That type of crazy type of thing. So I think you just look at what other people are doing. You'll come up with something catchy. You play around with it. The geek in me, if it's just SEO, I'd be looking for keywords or phrases that have got a lot of traffic, right? So if it's such and such suitcases, I'd be like josiesuitcases.com. So it's got like the terminology in it or something like that. Just elaborate because there's a suitcase there, right? That type of thing. It doesn't matter what the product is. It can be pens, it can be toilet roll, it can be glasses. It doesn't matter. You've just got to try and carve yourself out that name or brand and niche. The brand, people don't buy the brand first. They brand, but if it's e-commerce, they buy a trending product, they buy the viral marketing, you create the FOMO and hype around it. So they go, I want that. Did he need it? Not really. Did he want it? Yes. If it's priced like $50 or under, they're going to buy it on impulse and justify with logic. So we teach that, where you go, oh shit, I shouldn't have bought that. That was the groceries, or it was diesel or gasoline or petrol or something. And you got, oh, I've bought it now. It's going to come, right? Whereas if it's something like it's $150, $250, we have to think about it. We have to justify it with logic and go, hang on a minute, I want that, but that could be this or that could be that. And it's finding these type of niches where, especially when you're doing self-development and you're doing these Grant Cardone, like you say, Grant Cardone and stuff like that, you're investing a lot of time and money into yourself, and what we call sweat equity is like hours that you put back in, and then you might have to leverage money back, but it's how when you get that back. And then I'm just looking at the other questions because that will tie nicely into something in a minute about business goals and budgets and stuff like that. But you've just got to just think about you, and think about how you do it, because everybody knows me, knows what I do, but doesn't know the company behind what I do. They bought into me. So that comes back to Ronan, and where maybe he can add something to it as well, where it's building that brand presence. And I can just hear Jabaria shouting at me for not going live every day on Instagram and stuff because I'm too busy, because I've got that potential to do it. And I know I know that I've got all these pearls of wisdom, and they could be 15 seconds, 30 minutes. I could just drop something live and everyone be like, oh my God, that's amazing. He'd be like, I don't even know what I just said. Like that type of thing. But maybe you can take a bit more about how to build yourself as a brand as opposed to trying to market something else.
Yeah, you can do. Yeah. I think to build yourself as a brand, you want to try and associate yourself with your niche. So obviously that's easier said than done. But if let's say you've got a personal brand and you could be doing services, you could be, in our case, marketing. Building a brand would then be using your own person to explain marketing knowledge. So that's an example, our case. So people start to associate the marketing side with us. So they see, oh, it's another marketing video about something online. So that's the example that I'm trying to use. You basically just got to create the content around what you offer as a person. If it's a product, like we said before, it's completely different. It's more going for you've got to create it's not really too bad, it's not really too different, but for social media branding, you've just basically got to create content that your target audience will absolutely love. So it goes back around to the competitor research, is you just got to give away knowledge. If it's a service, for example, in our case it's marketing, so we make marketing videos. If it's a product, you've got to be able to create the content, fit the product around the content that you know your audience will like. So if it's, I'm just trying to think of a specific example that I can give so people can, I can't think of a specific example properly, but it is just making, I think there's nothing that needs to be more overcomplicated by it. It is literally just knowing what your content, knowing what your audience wants, and especially if you love it. It goes back around to what we said before. If you really love what you're doing, then you will know what your audience will love as well. So it goes in hand with always do what you love, really, because you will know down in your intuition what is the best stuff to do to be able to associate your brand with your audience, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such a powerful message. And it's like as long as you're taking steps forward all the time, things will start opening up, and eventually you will find where you're meant to be. So just keep going forward. And I do have one more question actually for both of you before we start to wrap up, is actually about budget. Like you mentioned, Andy, is how does it kind of change first starting out? Someone doesn't really have much of a budget for the business and the social media. I know there's like editing involved and all that. So kind of starting out without a budget, and then how does that kind of grow once you do start to get a budget? How can you kind of reach out and leverage that, if that makes sense?
No, yeah, it's good because I just got took back to like working. I used to have a term, like an endearing phrase. It was a bit of a derogatory term in the industry, but a bedroom affiliate. And what they meant by that is like working off a computer or a laptop in your bedroom and trying to compete with like big blue chip companies. And I was, I was that bedroom affiliate, and I used to go to these conferences, not having any business cards, fake it till you make it type of thing. And then and this was different because they knew the websites, they didn't know the person behind the websites. And I was kind of anonymous because in that industry, it was to do with gambling and stuff. And I was ashamed of what I did. Right. I'll be honest, I was. So there's that. But if I think back, I learned everything about marketing from being in a very competitive niche with that type of money. So then, there's a video knocking about on YouTube with an interview with Master Chief Castner, and I always said, like, I seen it from a Star Wars analogy, like I was playing for the dark side, and then I came like with kind of like sort of a Jedi type of thing.
Oh, you and Seb are so similar.
But but I seen it like that, and I seen it like I was good or bad, and I seen that I've took everything that I learned. No, like we know energy is not good or bad; it's never. We know all that type of stuff, right? But it was kind of like everything I've learned, and I've been able to do good with it, and I've been able to pay it forward. And for me, that's the best way. And the karma, and it's karma repaid in kind. The amount of times that I've had people coming to me breaking down, crying that they can't afford this or they can't afford that, and they do that, right? And I'm able to just do something that to me is really, really trivial. And like that, then that example with the guy with the brokerage, or there's thousands of examples I can give. And then they go back, and then that makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And I know that someone's gone away. The intuitive empath in me like wants to help everybody, but not everybody wants to be helped and stuff like that. And it's like, how can I pay it forward and like sow a seed where, like you say, it is consistency is key. It's like anything, like you don't want to go to the gym, but you go and then eventually you lose the weight or lose like things like you've just got to do it. It's repetition. It's going to be boring. It's going to feel mundane. You're going to be like, I really don't want to do this today. I'm sick of eating. Particular example, I'm sick of eating chicken and rice. Right, it does me anything. I want to have a Big Mac. I want to be fat and happy. Right, but I'm not getting any younger, and I sit behind a desk all day for 10, 12 hours a day. I know I've got to be more active. So it's stuff like that. But to go to the budget, like, and Misty will say this from the Econ Mastery days and stuff like that, is something that I got taught is very, very, very powerful. Is like, what is it you want out of it? What's your end goal? And for a lot of people, they want to leave the job. They hate the job. They're in a job that they hate, but they can't afford to leave because they got bills or they got debts or like they're bankrupt and stuff. So they're stuck in this rat race, never to lead the freedom lifestyle to become an entrepreneur. So I would say, okay, I'd be happy to get $300 a week, $400 a week. Okay. So like, what would that mean to you if you could get 500? And this is where your pens and paper come in, because this is very, very powerful, because we kind of take it into the future and then bring it back and make it into bite-sized chunks. So you go like, okay, typical example, I would like $10,000 a month. So a lot of people that be like, my God, that's amazing. That's huge. That's like life-changing, life-saving type of money. It's $2,500 a week. And it's $120,000 a year. So you go, right, okay, $120,000 a year broken into month is $10,000 a month, is $2,500 a week, is, I can't do the maths, like divide that by 7 is $200-300 a day. Right, okay, how can I easily make $200 to $300 a day? I can sell 20 dog harnesses to people with $20 profit. I can sell Google My Business map pack stacking, which is SEO, for 297 plus VAT. I sell one of them a day. I'm done for the day. There's me $10,000. So it's finding that, and then you go, okay, but I've got no money. And then that realization kicks in. You're like, oh no, it's too good to be true. And then you think, like, okay, how can I do it? How can I get from here? So even though that's your end goal, it might be that your first goal is $25. Like, and I've said, when I done my rounders of FLC, I always remember jumping up and down. I had a letter come through my door, and I was probably about, what was it then? 26. It was 26, 27, still living at home. And I had a check come through the door for $50 for commission. And that $50 could have been 5 million. To me, I was like, oh my God, all my time on my computer was worth this. Yay. And I was like, really like buzzing that I'd made that, I earned that.
Know that feeling.
So then that was the driving force for me. And then it got to the stage where I wasn't even bothered about the checks. The checks would go into a business bank, and then I'd take a wage, and I became self-employed to limited and all that type of stuff. So it's going back to what we've been talking about. There's this common theme I'm seeing in this conversation that we're having in this hangout. It's just start. It's literally consistency is key. Like, get rid of the fear. There's nothing to fear. I always remember, like, there's no such word as can't. I always say that to my kids. They go, I can't do that. I go, how do you know? You've not even tried. You don't know if you can do it. You can't say you can't do it if you've not even tried. You got to have that can-do attitude. You just got to do it. It's like riding a bike. When we're kids, we fall off, we get back up, and then all of a sudden we can ride a bike and we're not bothered. So you've just got to do it. But going back to the money, you can find money, right? You can find the money. Like whether you think you can't or not, you can find the money. There's ways to find the money. There's ways to leverage OTM. There's ways to get money on a credit card. If you want it bad enough, you will find a way to make that money. That you will do. You'll sell something. You'll do something. Like I always remember, like I sold the motorbike. This is going back to Ronan. We were talking about this today. Like I didn't pass my test till I was 25. I failed my test. And because I came out of work, I couldn't afford to redo my driving lessons. So I got a motorbike, but I couldn't pick a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old up on a motorbike. So I was relying on different people for lifts. And that became a problem because I was relying on people to pick Ronan up because he doesn't live with me. So then I ended up selling my motorbike and working extra shifts to then be able to buy a car to pick him up. So and you know what I mean? You've got like, you find a way. And what I'm saying is it may not seem that you'll find a way, but when you get out of your own way, if that makes sense, when you get out your own way and you just surrender to it, it'll be a scratch card win. It'll be, oh, I've just done such and such, here's such and such money. Oh, why didn't you ask me? I've got that money. Or it'll be something like that. Or I'll invest it yet and just give it me back when you're on your feet. It's that type of thing. And you'll be like, oh, thank you. But you've just got to put it out there, set it and forget it. And a bit of tough love, just crack on. just put on your big boy pants or your girl pants and just do it, because no one's going to do it for you. You've got to take that first step. And once the universe and other people see that you've got that momentum, that's when it starts to snowball. That's when it starts to pick up, and then it picks up the momentum, and all of a sudden you look back and you go, whoa, how have I got here? And it's that realization. And it's like, I remember breaking down crying when I cleared the debt and stuff like that, because I didn't see a way out. And I hit rock bottom, and then, like, me and Seb have cried to each other over it and stuff like that, because you don't at that time, because you're coming from a victim mentality, and why me, and why this, and why is this happening to me, and why not everybody else, and and then you bury your head in your sand hoping it's to go away, and it won't until you face your fears. And then once you've done it and you level up and you look back on it, you go, oh, that was why. To me, it was teaching me money. It was teaching me about mindset. I know so much about money and business that I never knew 3 years ago. And I'd bear in mind, I was 12 years in, so I thought I knew it all. That's the ego in me, thinking that I know best. Going back to what you said, like thinking that I couldn't learn anything off Jabaria, and I've learned loads off Jabaria and stuff that I didn't do, because egotistical old Andrew, the version 1.0 of me, was like, who are you out to tell me how to do my job? I know everything. I'm like, do you know who I am? Da, 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 da. And then you think, well, all that stuff that I've learned for 12 years hasn't helped me in the predicament that I'm got. So maybe I should let my guard down. Maybe it should be open to people actually helping me for a change and helping me to level up. And that's where this hangout helps a lot of people. And I'm sure a lot of people will go away with it today and go, that was amazing. Like when they said this, and Misty said that, and Josie said that, and Ronan said that. None of us are going to remember it until we watch it back. We edit it.
Yeah.
So
Type of thing that's very true.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I can add, especially like if you're just starting out, and I know I see like this guy in the background that just keeps on coming out and going, do TikTok, do TikTok. That's every time the question brought us up.
The Gen Z.
Yeah, exactly. It's just this Gen Z, the millennial, coming over, just telling everyone to do TikTok. And I know it's not for everyone, but I just think, especially if you connect it with your passions, that's just where the audience is nowadays, and it's the best free marketing tool that's out there. Like I said, like a lot of people right now, and we've done it ourselves, instead of using advertising budgets when they're first starting drop shipping, and like I want to break this down like the best way possible to sort of teach people that I'm working on it at the moment. It's essentially just making videos around your products. People are literally just starting a Shopify store with $20 and just working on the act of trying to make organic TikTok marketing their goal for whatever product or service you're doing. So especially if you don't have a budget or anything, that might be a great start, because like my dad said before, if you just start it, the more you go on, the more you're consistent, more doors will open. So if that's one thing that you're thinking, oh, I'm not too sure what to start, just start with posting social media content that you think will be helpful and that you will enjoy. And that's all I really say to that point.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So did you have anything else to add just before we wrap up?
Yeah, I'm blown away. I feel like I was watching this hangout, not even like hosting. I was like, wow, like the whole time. But I do just want to kind of repeat on what both Andy and Ronan have said, is just start. And even if you are scared of failing, fear lies in the anticipation of action. So once you start, you'll realize that it's not as bad as you make it out to be. And as Seb says, fail fast, fail forward, and fail often. And that's the only way you will grow. So yeah, I just wanted to say, and definitely make sure to check out both of these guys. Instagrams are in the description, and yeah, check them out, check what they do. It's amazing. So that's me.
Yes, and also to remember that it's not a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. Just be resourceful. Look at, like Andy said, put it out there to everybody to just kind of help you out, get started. You won't regret it once you do. But so that's us for today, guys. I'm doing really good. So thank you guys for tuning in today. Huh?
Any closing words or closing thoughts?
Yeah, do you guys have any closing words?
I feel like I was going to say like Jerry Springer's final thoughts, but rest in peace, Jerry Springer, isn't it? It's like, no, I think we've covered it. It's like, say, it's fail forward. It's just start is the biggest one. It's like you'll get in your own way. That's the only thing I think. Your ego will stop you from trying to progress. You'll start stressing about the what ifs. But what if I start and this happens? What if you don't know? It's not happened yet. Just start. If there's a reason why you're questioning what you're doing, there's a reason why you're watching this video. There's a reason why there's an intuitive part of you is open to ideas. And I always say to Ronan and my kids, like, you get to this stage where you're starting questioning stuff. To go a bit woo-woo again, when you have a spiritual awakening, you start going, why is grass green? Why is the water wet? Why is sky blue? Just ask all these random questions, because you generally become a teenager again. You're trying to work everything out. And it's the same with business, and it's the same with where you want to go with that as well, is the why. The why is the important. I do everything I do for my family, for my kids, and my wife and stuff, and then my friends, and then once that's out the way, it then becomes my other family, everybody else. It's like, how can I then pay that forward? Because I'm all right, Jack, as I say that, but I'm all right. I want for nothing. I'm in a position where I can give it back now, and it's that feels like a weight's been lifted. And I know aside, then I caught myself saying, but it feels like once you get to the stage, just don't give up is what I'm trying to say. It seems hard at the time, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. When you come out the other side, you're so much stronger for it. Your version 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. And then everything that you've learned, you find everything becomes easier. A lot of doors opening. The opportunities to me are coming now is thick and fast. Whether I want to work for people or work for myself, the skill set that I've got, so it's a sought after skill. So it's finding something that you enjoy doing is what I want to close with. And then you'll always make money. You'll always make money if you enjoy doing it, and it's doing it for the right reasons, and it's paying it forward, and it's helping other people. You will always have money. You'll always make money from it.
And the only thing I want to add is, if you're watching this video, then there is a high likelihood that you're going to be successful, in my opinion, because I think the average person is just, they don't want to create their own things. They just want to be a consumer. There's two types of people, creators and consumers. And we're all both in a way, if that makes sense. We all want to do different things, but I believe, especially if you're taking this time out to better yourself, then you're a step ahead of everyone else. I know comparison is not the best thing to do, but if you can see that in your mind, that you are going and putting a drive into work on it, then you can see that you do want this thing and that you can go after it, and it is possible. So yeah, that's everything from me.
Thank you guys so much. Guys, thank you all for tuning into our episode today. And we all hope that you enjoyed our conversation. I do want to say that business is a journey. It is not just okay, I'm just going to go online or show up someplace and do business and I'm just going to go home. It's a transformational journey because along the way you have to change who you are. That's why we all talk about, in almost every episode, we talk a lot about the woo-woo stuff, the spiritual side of things, because it is such a journey and it's such transformational journey for you as a foundational person. And that transforms into your freedom lifestyle. So business is a journey. And, I hope that you found our discussion informative, engaging. Please like and share and comment. If you liked this episode, please subscribe, push this out to as many people as we can, as you can. Share it with everybody because we want to be able to help as many people as possible reach their freedom lifestyle. So be sure to watch for next week's episode. We'll have another episode out on Sunday. Keep learning, tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. And as we all say here at the FLC family, welcome to the family where once you're family for life. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.